Okay, so we're going to go through the top attacking players in FC25, but we're going to do something a bit different from what you normally see in these type of videos. Because when you're coming around about this time of the year, most players are going to have the stats that you want, and there's a kind of a baseline. So, for example, what I mean is someone like Eusebio, yes, we know they're going to be up there, but let's say someone like, I don't know, Torre, okay, still a very good player. Some of these stats can be boosted with chemistry styles, which make it become 99. Now, I'll tell you something that I can't prove. Normally, I don't believe in hearsay. You know me, I'm straight as facts at points, but I do have a belief, in my opinion, and I can't prove it, so don't take my word for it. That stats that are higher naturally perform better than stats with the chemistry boost. So, what I mean by that is if you find a player that's 99 sprint speed and acceleration, they feel faster than someone who's got 93 with a chemistry style. Again, I can't prove this, but it's just something just to bear in mind. I'm probably going to create a lot of people are talking about this, but you know what I'm talking about. I can't prove it, so I don't want to say it exists, but that's something that I consider. So when you're looking at some of the best hackers in the game, there's a few things you got to learn. So what I'm doing it by now is acceleration, composure, finishing, long shots, shot power. Now, to be honest, if you're looking for, let's say, a striker or an attacker, we're just going to put an attacker as a whole now. I think with long shots you can get away with. I would say shot power you want to go 92, and finishing I would say ideally 92 at this stage of the year, because then let's say I don't know we find someone like Pedro Neto, at least then you can put a hunter on him or you could put a hawk on him to get his stats up. So that's what I think is very, very important. So if you're looking for a player and let's say they haven't really got the best of finishing or the best of stats, that's one of the key things to bear in mind. So we're going to go through a lot of these players. Any one of these players here. Now, what I'd recommend, let me tell you the way that I will do this. You can see there's about 9 pages here. What I'd recommend is choosing the playstyles that you want. So if we're looking at meta playstyles for a strike, if you're asking me, I would say the best ones right now are, I would say, a low driven. I would say the finesse shot is still very effective, both outside the box. Inside the box, yes, but I would say to, let's say you're a left winger or a right winger, I would say something like this. And then let's say, for example, you like to use tiki-taka with your striker. This is the way that I would normally try to find the players that I'd want. Yes, you're only going to have a few players, but this way you get a bunch of everything. The only other alternative is to do an evolution. You know, evolve one of these players with some of these fantastic evolutions. And to be honest, some of these evos are actually brilliant. Do you know what? This is my second account. I'm having more fun on my second account just creating players that I want. And I've been trying to create a team with tiki-taka players, or I've been waiting for the right evolutions and so on. So just something for you just to bear in mind. Now, when we go back to the top meta players, let's go through them. So for me, I like players that got a good agility and balance. You ask me personally, I like players that got good agility and balance. Yes, R9 is very effective, but I would say R9 is a very effective player mainly if you have the speed boost, because you have the rapid, and use low driven finesses. The thing is with R9 is a lot of people don't like him. Some of you do, but I never really liked R9 like in FIFA 19, 20, because he was very clunky. So when you're looking for a player, if you don't want someone clunky, try to go for 5'11 and below. I think that's like 182 centimeters, 181 centimeters, or something like that. Try to go for 6 foot and below, because the taller they are, the more clunkier they will feel on the ball. That's what's very important to realize. It's the same with the height and the weight. Look, ignore that's not important. People say, "Oh, body type." Listen, forget body type, okay? Because body type, part of very few players that have unique animations. But in the grand scheme of things, the body type is irrelevant. All body type is a combination of the height and the weight, statistical number, and then they just put in a category. So, like, let's say everyone above 6 foot that weighs above 70 kg is called nil guides. The body type would be nil guides. It's just a name. It's not, and I've confirmed this. It's not actually just an actual body type that means something. It's only when it's like unique or someone like Ronaldo, then you could argue it's a bit different. But general rule of thumb, try to go with someone that's short. So you can see like here, someone like this has everything that you'd want. Again, the aggression lacks. I don't think it's too much of an issue. If you're asking me, the most important things you're really, really paying for strikers, like finishing, shot power, composure, sprint speed, and maybe the passing. So that's why we're going to go through in a second and go a bit specific on the criteria. So me, I'll tell you what I like. So let me first of all show you when I'm looking for a striker who I'm going to choose. Because it's something that you got to bear in mind. Don't just follow what people are saying on social media. Oh, this player is meta. Like, honestly, these player reviews, like what? You don't even need to watch these player reviews, honestly, to know for players. Better not just look at the stats. But anyway, if you want to see the unique movement, yes, you can. There's some good people out there. But look, so what I'll do is I would normally want someone that's got good passing. Then what I normally want is a 5-star weak foot. I tried to go for 5-star, 5-star. At this kind of stage of the game, it's kind of a given. If you don't use the 5-star skill moves, you can drop that. But I would say try to at least go for a 5-star weak foot for a main striker. Then what I like to do, personally speaking, I like to have my aggression at 80. And then what I do for short passing, I put that as 90 because at this stage, I want someone that's really good. Long passing is not too much of an issue, but sometimes I get the ball on a counter attack and then I make a long pass, or I'll trigger someone to run past me. Then I do a long pass. So 85 will be the baseline. And in vision, I just go with 80. Of course, we're looking for like 90s, but this will just be a good baseline to choose from. So you can see immediately here, I have all the players that I'd want. And then what I normally do here is let's say I go with, where's Miss? We're meant to be looking for height. Why can't I see it? So there. But here is when I go for max height 181. So you can see R9 gets thrown out. So now you're going to get all the players that literally are going to be at least smooth on a ball. And you can see there's only 2 pages here. And then from these 2 pages, then I kind of define what exactly do I want. So let's say at this stage of the year, you also want ideally, let's say I want to play this player as an inside forward on the left-hand side. I will look for a plus plus. That's the way that I do it. So that is the way that I choose my players. And then once I've got these base stats here, I think about who do I want. And sometimes, for example, I may want someone who's got, let's say, a low driven. And let's say, for example, I may want someone who's got incisive, almost impossible. I might get 1 or 2 players. So at this stage of the game, at least you've got 1 or 2 players to choose from. So that is the most important thing. So before we even go through the best meta players, let's go over that first and how I look at it. What is this? Beta player 2? I don't even know what this is. Anyway, took a 2-week break. I was away 2 weeks. Anyway, like I was saying, so that's one thing that I would say you should be seriously considering. But we're just going to get rid of this because some of this is very unrealistic, like this. And we're going to get rid of agility and balance because we'll lose the R9s. We'll get rid of the aggression because not all strikers have high aggression. Some of the women do, but not all the men do. And then again, we're going to get rid of the height. And at the very least, I want 92 sprint speed. I don't want anyone slow at this stage of the year. So any of these cards that you see are going to be very good. Now, we've done this by price. Now, this meta rate, people are saying, oh, is this meta rating good now? I think there's a few things you got to bear in mind. Look, I'm a big fan of foot.gg, but their meta rating, it means nothing. Like, it's like same with EasySBC.io. Let me make sure I spell it right. It's the same with this one. You can look, for example, meta rating. They have a meta rating, and you can see that's the co-founder. I really have I have no idea who he is, by the way. But you can see some of these cards have a meta rating. Now, this meta rating and meta tier is defined by them. So if they choose, for example, anyone that's got above 92 finishing and 91 sprint speed is automatically a 90 plus, unless they've got 85 short passing. So it's what they deem as a meta player. It doesn't mean the player is meta or not. So this meta rating that you see over here, yes, it's a good kind of filter process, but it's not things you should be looking at. You can't say, for example, Griezmann is less meta than, for example, Son, because it could depend. If you like left stick dribbling, then Griezmann will be the better option. I love Son as well, but I don't like the fact he's clunky, but he's a winger for me. So these are the things that you really have to bear in mind when you're choosing, okay, these players, who's the meta player, this and that. It's not what anyone else thinks, it's about what you think. So don't just go following what you see on TikTok and seeing this and that. It's about finding the right players for you. So that is the way that you find the best players. But some of the best players I would say that I've used in the game, Eusebio, very, very good. Very, very expensive. Used them only once or twice. Very good card. I actually really like my strikers to have incisive. If you're asking me for the baseline, what I would go with here, I would say at this stage of the year, 92 sprint speeds, what I'll be going for. At least 95 finishing, because at least with 95, you can put a hawk on them or whatever. 95 shot power. Attack positioning, they're going to be high naturally at this stage of the year. And then long shots, 95. That would be a good filter. Again, the short passing is what I prioritize. Jumping, now personally, look, this is trying to say meta rating. I don't prioritize, for example, jumping because I don't care. I don't score that many headers. If you do something that you prioritize even more, so 85, 80, I don't even care. It's not important for me. Stamina is important. I would say you want above 90. Strength, if you can get it above 80. A lot of the women players have higher strength as well. Some of their cards and higher aggression. That's one of the benefits of cards like Mia Hamm. They have a bit of everything. So if you're asking me personally, one of the best strikers I've used throughout the years has always been someone like Mia Hamm. Hamm, I've just really liked using. I feel she's one of the best. This card over here, yes, she's short. That's the downside. So she cannot play as a CDM, but I want someone that's agile and someone that's short. So again, the play styles are very, very important. So those are the key stats I'll be looking at. And of course, composure. Most of these stats are going to be in the 90s. Heading accuracy is not important. And a lot of the meta ratings are determined by heading accuracy. If you don't score headers, that means someone's got a meta rating of 80 because he's got like 5 heading accuracy in theory would be lower down. So again, the meta rating, don't just believe everything you see. You know, look at it for yourself. You have to. This is why I made the videos for you. Look, so you can look at it yourself. Now, what I like, this is the play styles that I like as well, right? Finesse shots are very good for wingers. So I'll show you a right wing example. So finesse shots are very good for wingers. Low driven, I think, is exceptional for any striker. Any cam, I think works very well. However, I would say incisive and tiki-taka and ping passing are 3 passing ones that I actually really like for a left wing and a right wing. That's why I'm saying evolutions are kind of the best system, because what I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out, okay, let's see one that expires. This is my other account, right? I'm not done anything. Let's say part the bus. So I know with this one, you're getting the defending stats, right? Now, I might not want to upgrade one of my strikers, but let's say, for example, I'm trying to see if I've got a play. I think Nunez I have on this account. Something like that. But let's say, I don't know, I find a centre mid or a card that can play centre mid. This is something that you would consider when you're upgrading these players, because then you can make, or let's say Lewandowski can play. Let's just say you can play centre mid. Then I can make a player both defensively and offensively very good. And you see with this, I can improve his physicality. So someone like this, Park the striker, can improve, as you can see, Correa's physicality. That really might help him. So I'm ignoring what the rest is, but yeah, give him stamina, strength, and aggression. Maybe if you look at naturally, does he have that? Not as much. So, and I think it's even lower on his base card. So that you can see that's where those big differences come in. And for example, I've got a few cards that I'm saving. So let's say I think one, which one is it? Which one gives the, I think, is it this one? Sideline Superstar? One of these, yeah, one of them gives quick steps. So what I will do, for example, is I will choose a card like Mateus Nunez, and I'm going to go and do it and complete it to just this segment. Because I don't want him to have 3 playstyles, although it's very good to have all the playstyles. I want him to have quick step, and that's it. So now I can then look for another one where, for example, he has a finesse shot. Then I've got the perfect winger. So these evolutions, you're asking me, this is the best way to make your card. And to be honest, they're very affordable. You know, you can get 100k easily by just playing one weekend league. But you know, you can see with this one as well, very, very similar. So when I'm looking for those meta cards, I'm really trying to fill in again what works for me. So I really like, if you ask me for a striker, I say like that. For a striker, I like tiki-taka because when I'm inside the box, I can pass the ball quickly to someone else. That's why someone like this Mia Hamm card works exceptionally well. I want someone that can very easily just go in to my team and someone that I can just do 1-2 passes with. So if you're asking me, the play styles are much more important, you think. For a striker, incisive pass is good as well. And that's why I think this Mia Hamm card is very good. For 1.2 million coins, I think she's a very good card because she's everything that you want. But she can do the through balls and she can have a tiki-taka. The only thing she doesn't have is a low driven. But that's something that, unless you use it, that's something you got to take into consideration. So me personally, I like tiki-taka. I don't care about whip passing. I don't cross the ball. Long ball is decent. I prefer that more in centre mids. But for wingers, I like the inside ping pass because I can do a ping pass from my wide players into the striker. So what I mean by that is, let me just show you this very, very quickly. What I mean by that is, let's say I have the ball over here in my winger. And let's say I'm playing, let's just say a 4-2-1-3. If I have the ball on my left wing, I can ping the ball straight away into my striker. If I've got a 4-4-2, I can ping the ball straight away into my striker without fail. And that is one of the key benefits of using something like a 4-4-2. I can just ping the ball in. And that's what I like, if you ask me personally speaking. The ping passing. And incisive, I like incisive for the cam, for the through ball. Sometimes my strike, I use the through ball, as I said, me a ham. But I also like ping pass with my cam, because what happens is sometimes when I turn over the play, I get the ball with my cam. I might like to do a ping pass to my striker. So I would say for cams, I would say incisive, ping pass, long ball, tiki taka, technically all four. But I'll prioritize incisive, ping pass, tiki taka. For wingers, I look at more at tiki taka and ping passing. For strikers, I look more at incisive and tiki taka. That's the way that I do it. Okay. Defending, I ignore them all. I know there's certain evolutions, like the one that we talked about just recently. This one over here, where is it? Spread your wings. It's not the one. Which one is it? Silent Superstar. This the one. But you know the one I'm talking about. The one where you, I don't even know where it is. I had it. It's part of the striker, not that one. Part of the striker, and also like this one, Wanyeri. I've been waiting for him for so long, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this one. So look, now I've got Wanyeri with Tiki Taka with the speed boost now, and now with Tiki Taka, rapid, and quick step. So for me, he's a perfect cam. And you know what the best thing of all is? He's controlled explosive. Explosive could be better. He'll be perfect for the speed boost. So do you see why I've waited for so long for a car like this? I'm trying to say you have to be quite diligent, patient, wait for the right options. Or you do what I said with Nunez and go with the half car. But like here with Correa, I said, look here, if I need to improve the physicality, I can do. But I don't want the defending stats. What I might do is I might, let's say in theory, had this been something like this, I would have gone something like that. And let's say Correa already had 3 playstyles. So let's say, I don't know, do you have someone on my team that has 3 playstyles? I don't think we do, because the max playstyles is 3. So I don't think we do. So take this, let's say if someone would, let's say I'd be a defender. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm trying to look for a quick defender here. Or striker. Let's say, there's someone like Harder. So let's say, I don't know, we have the start of the already 2 things. So it could be someone to consider. So again, these combination, something you got to bear in mind. Now, so I would ignore all of these. Jockey can be good as a striker, by the way, and I'll explain to you why. This happened in one of these evolutions. I did it on my main account. Anyone that's really smart with a jockey playstyle, people would laugh at it. It's such a genius idea, because when you press the ball, if I could choose the defensive playstyle to use when I'm out of possession, let's say my opponent has the ball, which people don't think about. If I want to press the ball, I want the jockey playstyle so I can press the ball even quicker and I can run faster than running jockey. So do you see why that is kind of important? Now for the winger, I would say technical, rapid is very good, and quick step. I would say more for wingers. Maybe even argue strikers and cams is technical. I don't use technical personally. I just don't like, again, because when I teach the game, I try to keep it as basic as possible. But technical is very good. But I don't use technical as much. But I maybe would go with rapid because of the speed boost, even if I'm not using the speed boost, naturally running faster with the ball. And maybe with the striker, I may go towards first touch. I don't really lean towards press prove or anything like that. Now, for the physicality, for strikers, quick step, brilliant. I don't do Trivellas, but if I did, I would need a normal Trivella. But personally speaking here, I would just go with quick step. So do you see when I'm looking for these meta strikers, it's not who I think is meta. Yes, we all know the Mbappes, the Messis, the Ronaldinhos, the Peles, the Yamals. Well, Yamal is okay. But you see a lot of these determines on player stats, but you can select them, the mere ham. So a lot of these will purely depend on what play styles you play with. If I give you Salah, but let's say you don't do through balls, you don't do Trivellas, even though goal Trivellas are a waste, and you don't do finesse shots, then for him, it's a waste of time. You might as well just use natural play styles where like you have something like a quick step that happens all the time. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video. It's one thing I wanted to mention to you, finding the perfect striker for you. That's something you should take into consideration. It's about what you want, not what anyone else wants. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Hope this helped. Catch you next time. Peace out.